prepared?
This meeting is being recorded.
Okay, let me just go to my view. Sorry. Okay, everyone can hear me. It's February, no, it's not. It's January 29th. And I'd like to call the meeting to order. One of the things we haven't done in a long time, and I felt it was overdue that we should do, is announce some birthdays for both January and February. So I'm just going to go back all the way to the beginning of January. So Julian Mary is celebrating his birthday January 4th, or did. Bill Steele celebrated January 14th. Bill Martin celebrates it on February 4th. Ray is on February 16th. Sandy Loudon is on February 21st, and I am on February 27th. So those are birthdays that are coming up. And with that, I'm going to call upon Chad to do the reflection for us.
Thank you, David. Yeah, I mean, I thought what sort of struck my mind as relevant is how many crazy things are going on in the world, and how our attention is always seems to be fixated on a lot of that. But I think at the end of the day, like one of the things we don't focus enough on is sort of the little things that we do individually. I think as a club, we do a great job of that. And I think society really needs more of that. Actually, a week or so ago, our TD branch here, my employer, we wanted to get involved in something local, and the assistant branch manager picked the Out of the Cold program at the York Minster Food Bank, and Dina Gilbert came to talk to our group, and she mentioned Rotary. So that's a great example of, led, of course, all these years by Walter, of people, taking their own time and doing something that they know is helpful, and you can tell how much it means to that program there. And by the way, all the publicity that, like, who knows how many people she's told about Rotary. She didn't know that anyone in our group was a Rotarian. So the things that we do on a day-to-day basis, that makes a bigger difference than this, the big stuff that we can't control. So that's my reflection for today.
Thank you, Chad. And I was remiss, I didn't officially welcome Erin McLean to the meeting, but she seems like family now. We see her so often between in person and on Zoom and such. So welcome, Erin. I'm going to save Happy Bucks till the end, but so I want to, I'm going to let Jackie formally introduce Erin, who's going to be our speaker today.
Oh, thank you. It's really my pleasure, Erin, to have you here and to have you speak about the recipients of the John Bonnick and the Pat Bartlett Richards Award. This is really a very special meeting for all of us because we have an opportunity to reflect on our very modest role in establishing trails and in two of our most memorable, outstanding Rotarians in John and Pat. And I thought that there would be a lot of our newer members here today. So I prepared just a little bit about both of those people so that we can all just enjoy thinking about them. John Bonnick passed away in 2019. He was an incredible man. He enjoyed a remarkable life, filled with a loving family, world travels, professional triumphs. He was a founding partner of Adamson's Architect. He was known for his incredible hospitality. He was a larger than life personality. Ron, he skied annually with you, and he played tennis. John Bonnick was a founding member of our club, and he was active for 60 years as a Rotarian. We all remember his dinner parties. When he would meet a guest at the door with a gin and tonic in his hand, in a tuxedo, and would just begin the most wonderful evening. Now, our silent auctions were always enlivened with a donation from John, because he would donate a dinner for 8 or 10, And boy, we paid quite a price to attend one of John's dinners. When he passed, Toronto Eglinton was very pleased to continue the award at Trails that he actually had established for his wife Donna. And Aaron, when John was alive and a sponsor of the Donna Bonnick Scholarship, all the applicants actually came to John, and he pored over them and made a very deliberate decision as to who was the candidate. He knew Trails very well, and he loved it, and this must make him very happy for us to be able to talk about him annually. Now, Pat, well, was she a character? Pat worked in administration to help support her 4 younger siblings following the early passing of her parents. But in phase 2 of her life, she had the financial freedom to become an artist and a world traveler who would annually produce enough art to run a show raising many thousands of dollars, enough one year to start an orphanage in Tibet and an AIDS clinic in India. One day in her wonderful condo at the Granite, Pat met a lady in the elevator whose last name was Hayhurst. That should strike bells here with you folks. And this woman told Pat that her family had just started a youth program named Trails. And so Pat decided to donate the proceeds of her art show that year to Trails. And you know, the rest is history. Pat also, through her Trails involvement, then joined Rotary. And she was the chief hugger or greeter. You know, Pat wore a big button that said, I want a hug, or let's hug, or something like that. I can't remember what it was. Pat was a character. Once a member, Pat threw herself into Trails, and halfway through the lodge construction, she said she wanted to do a site inspection for a special gathering. On site, over the course of an hour, she buzzed around collecting odd assortment of things: construction cable, a beehive, bird feathers, porcupine quills, etc. All the elements she needed to make a marvelous abstract piece of art, which she called Trails. And it's displayed on the wall of Trails to this day. The kids loved the piece's symbolism and the fact that Pat empowered them to decide where and how to place it in the new lodge. After that, Pat became Trails' patron of the arts, helping equip the kids to explore their artistic side. She quickly went from teaching to mentoring. The most talented ones included a young man by the name of Fatih Stanley, who is a fixture at Trails today. Pat was she was an absolute character, and our club was enriched by her and John's presence. So we remember them today. And Aaron, we look forward to hearing from you as to who the recipients of their awards are.
Thank you, Jackie. That was wonderful because I've heard snippets here and there, stories of both John and Pat, but that was probably the most wholesome deep dive that I've gotten. And it helps, especially to be able to share who our recipients are, having that chance to reflect more about each individual. And I have to say, if I can only picture, because I did not know him, but John diving over the applicants, it's so hard, because I was going to say we could have had 5 deserving individuals from our current bursary recipients that I think embody a lot of both of these, but I'm really excited to share about our 2 winners today. Before I do that, I'm just going to share a little bit of a high-level bursary update, because I think it's nice to get that annual look at how we're going and how things are growing. But I want to start with an immense thank you to the entire club for your newest commitment of $6,000 over 4 years, because that really has a huge impact as we as the For Life program and the Bursary continues to catch up to the doubling of the 4-4 program, because we last fiscal, which our fiscal year wraps up September 30th, we had 62 of our alumni supported financially through the Bursary program, and that is projected to grow exponentially as we get to 2030. So your gift is continuing to increase our capacity to make a difference, which we're so thankful for. The Bursary committee is run by myself and 4 dedicated leadership volunteers, all of which who have a strong connection to trails. 3 of the 4 of those volunteers are former facilitators, and we spend hours with each one of the recipients each year to evaluate their educational needs and any mentorship we can provide, and also their unique financial needs, to be able to give them the direct combination of support that they need to make their year a success and possible. So we're really excited to kick off 2025 to continue strengthening our relationships and establishing new ones to really increase the capacity of our financial impact. And these 2 awards are 2 ways that we do that. So the Bonnick Award this year is has been awarded to Kwame Owusu Ansa, and Kwame goes by Junior. So whenever somebody says Junior, that's what he was called when he was at Trails. That's how he signs his Trails communication. So you'll see his LinkedIn as Kwame, but to Trails, he's Junior, and that's just the name that has stuck. The reason he is not with us today is because Junior is spending this semester in Australia. He was awarded a few scholarships from TMU that gave him the chance to do an exchange program that he also got 2 part-time jobs to be able to fund. And I've never spoken to somebody who's been more excited to head off on an adventure. I don't know if you guys knew this, but Mel lived for a couple years and worked in Australia. So they've been texting regularly, but he went and dug into a family tree and even found out he had long distance relatives there. So he met them over the holidays before his semester starting. And I can only imagine the full recap we will get from him when he returns. But he shared both a short bio and a letter. I'm going to read the letter. I tried to pull snippets, but it's not that long. And I think it really gives his voice to read it in full. And both of the documents for both of the winners, I will email so you can share amongst membership for anybody who's not here today. So Kwame or Junior's letter reads as, Dear Rotary, before Trails, I found myself full of ideas, but struggling to express them in a way that truly reflected who I was. My thoughts and actions felt sporadic, and I often lacked the tools to channel my energy effectively. At Trails, I learned how to ground myself through journaling, connection with nature, and discovering authentic ways to express myself that uplift rather than hinder me. These experiences taught me the importance of reflection and self-awareness, skills that have become invaluable in my daily life. Because of Trails, I now connect more deeply with myself and in turn with others around me. The communication and grounding techniques I developed have not only enriched my relationships, but have also shaped how I navigate the world with confidence. Currently, I'm in my 3rd year of business technology management at Toronto Metropolitan University, where I'm working toward a career in the business of live events and entertainment, focusing on event planning and project management. Your generous $1,000 gift is a profound reminder of the support and encouragement I've received from Trails and its community. Thank you for this recognition and for investing in my growth and future. I'm deeply grateful for the continued impact Trails has had on my life. Warm regards, and he signed it Junior, and then put Kwame in brackets, but he felt it was connected to the Trails community, so he was like, everybody can refer to me as Junior because that's my Trails voice and name. So when I told him, he had so many questions. He was upset of the timing, but he said, when I'm back, I explained that you guys regularly have in-person lunches too. And he said, when I'm back in the spring, if I had the opportunity, I would attend and I would go and meet some of the members. So when he's back in late June, because it's a longer stretch than the regular semester to May for the courses down there, he still has a year left in the city and was very interested in the opportunity to have a chance to come and meet in person, maybe in a fall lunch. And he's so dynamic and charismatic and was so moved when we called and told him that he was this year's winner. So that was his letter, and he sends his deep gratitude. For the Pat Bartlett Richards Award, this year's winner is Fairy Annie Gonzalez Sanchez. And Fairy Annie sent a bio about herself and also a letter, and I will share those. So I think the bio is a good snapshot introduction, and then her letter has some deep personal reflection, and I think demonstrates why she's so deserving of Pat's award. So her bio is Fairy Annie is a first-generation Dominican-Canadian multidisciplinary artist based in Toronto. She graduated from Trails in 2020 with the Windseekers. She is currently working towards an undergraduate degree in professional communications at TMU, formerly Ryerson University. She aspires to use her passion for creativity, education, and communications to change lives in her community, and if she can, other communities that she has yet to meet. So that's her bio, and I think it's so reflective for myself, who's known Fairy Annie for a number of years since she joined the Bursary program, to see how much she's tapped into her arts, to give you her arts interest and passion. Before I read the letter, Fairy Annie started school at TMU in biology. She always excelled in sciences and thought this is the path that I should lead. It's where I'll find job security. She spent her first year of school studying mushrooms and fungus and thought this is the future for me. But she wasn't fulfilled, and she had a lot of deep reflection, and she thought, I don't know if I should change. What should I do? And the Bursary program helped her tap into her interests, her passion, and through mentorship, she made the switch to communications and has really tapped into her artistic interest in her extracurricular activities. And it's where she sees her career going through the things she does. So her letter reads, Dear Rotary Club, I'm writing to express my heartfelt gratitude for selecting me as the recipient of the 2024 Pat Bartlett Richards Award. Receiving this honor, along with the generous $1,100 prize, means so much to me and will significantly support me as I take my next steps in pursuing my education and career. Growing up in a single-parent household, I learned independence and the value of hard work from a very young age. By the time I was 8, I learned how to take care of myself, and by 11, I was walking myself to school each day. My mother's dedication to providing for our family has been a constant source of inspiration, motivating me to work hard and persevere in the face of challenges. I owe so much of my growth as a person to Trails as well. It was there that I discovered journaling and meditation, practices which remain a central part of my life. Trails emphasize self-reflection, particularly during our solos, where campers would spend an extended period of time alone with our journals. These moments taught me the importance of introspection, resilience, and finding comfort in my own company. This award validates the hard work and determination that I strive to embody. My ultimate career goal is to combine my love for storytelling and the arts to connect and inspire others. I plan to pursue 2 paths to reach this goal. The first is through film and photography, using a communications degree and travel experiences to tell meaningful stories from my unique perspective. The second is through dance, a universal language that connects people across cultures and allows for profound self-reflection. Or self-expression, excuse me. My dream is to one day become a program coordinator, event facilitator, or educator specializing in arts-based programming. I firmly believe that art is a powerful bridge to education and connection at any age, and I hope to make a lasting impact. Pat Bartlett Richards' legacy is incredibly inspiring, and I'm honored to be recognized as someone who reflects similar values to her. Thank you for this incredible opportunity and your belief in me. The support of the Rotary Club will help me take the next steps in my journey, and I promise to work hard to make a positive impact in my community and beyond. With love, Fairy Annie. So that was her letter, and I think it ties really nicely to the intro that Jackie gave, just talking about how similarly, Pat had one career early on and then switched to fulfill her passions. And while we're not at the career level, Fairy Annie had that similar self-reflection and capacity to switch what she thought should be her program of study to really switch to something that would allow her to pursue multiple areas of the arts. That is really her deep passion. So both alumni are extremely appreciative of the award recognition. We're very honored when I made the call to tell them they were the winners. Fairy Annie is in class Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays are her full course load days, but she said, please express how grateful I am. And I said, well, you can't miss class. I will do my best to represent. And hopefully that was an insight into both students and a little bit about them and what they have to look ahead to in their futures. I'm happy to answer any questions about Bursary in general or these two fantastic individuals.
Thanks, Aaron. Are there any questions for Aaron? I'm not seeing. Oh, Jackie's going. You have to unmute, Jackie. You have to unmute, Jackie.
Okay. I just wondered if Tom had talked to you about the Rotary Peace Scholarships, about becoming a Rotary Peace Scholar. Any?
That one I'm not familiar
Okay.
with.
It's a postgraduate program, isn't it, Lars? Postgraduate. So you are still connected with kids who are 25, 26, right? Who have graduated from.
Oh yeah, our oldest alum is just a year older than I am. So
Okay. Well,
yep.
well, Rotary has about 6 peace centers all around the world. There's I don't think there's any in Canada, but the newest one has opened up in Istanbul. They're in Africa, Thailand. Help me out. Where are the other peace centers, Lars?
There is one in Sweden. There is one in the UK. One in at least one in the States.
So it's postgraduate, and they could follow a degree. They get a degree in an area related to being an agent of peace. And I think the award is what, 25,000 a year, Lars? Is that
It's at least
it is actually two different ones. So the one in Turkey and the one in Bangkok are the 3-month program, and the other 6 are 2-year programs. And I don't know if there is sort of a dollar value to it. I guess it would be, but it is everything is taken care of, basically.
Right. I mean,
Yeah.
it's probably Rotary's, would you say, most elite scholarship?
Yeah. And some of them lead, most of the universities lead to a degree program, a postgraduate degree, a master's or something like that. But the one in Bangkok in fact, that's being discontinued, Lars, isn't it? The one in Bangkok?
I don't know that. I haven't seen that. But anyway,
Oh, that was a certificate. You get a certificate program.
And the same is the case with one in Istanbul.
Yes.
Right.
It's a certificate. But yeah, it's, if I recall correctly, 60 spots a year, and it's worldwide competition. So
Yeah.
and we have the information, not by heart, but we can find it. But there is also the graduate program, which is a 1-year program. Actually, it can be more, but in most cases, what we have in our district is one graduate program, which is 1 year at an academic institution, anywhere but in the US. And the reason why it's the US is that we in the district feel that it is too close. There should also be at the old days, it was called the ambassadorial scholarship. So there is also the ambassadorial part of it.
The reason I mentioned the Peace Scholar program is because from what I've read about the candidates that have been successful, it's obviously academic success is a part of it, but they really look at the life experiences in the community, because and they take a cross-cultural approach to negotiation and peace work. So I've always thought, wouldn't it be wonderful if our club had a peace scholar? I mean, there's not a lot of young people in their mid-20s that want to take off for a couple of years and do this, but maybe we'll find some. All of the information is on Rotary's website,
Okay.
Rotary International's website.
And we've had successful candidates from this district
Yes,
too.
we have.
Mm.
Right. What have they done, Ron? Do you remember where they've studied or anything?
No, I don't remember.
We only have had from Canada one lady from Ottawa who went to Bangkok for 3 months. She's the only one who's been a recipient of the Peace Scholarship.
Okay, I will spend some time and learn about these new things that even I didn't know about. Aaron and I have been working together on getting these bursaries organized and to make them effective. So we've done RILAS. We sent a candidate there last year, and that candidate blew away all expectations of what they were hoping to find in somebody. In fact, they might want to wish that the candidate come back and help. So we started there. We had a little setback now with the HIP program, but Aaron, I promise you, I will get some information. We'll look at it. We'll talk about it. There are many things. I'm going to thank you in a second. So I have other things I want to talk about, but I know 2 candidates that were on at one point in time these extra programs that Rotary offers, and it's something that changes their life, and they remain positive to helping people and to giving back and paying forward for the rest of their lives. So I think it's good for your candidates as well.
Looking forward to hearing more. Thanks for sharing about those 2 programs.
I have a question about our club
ahead,
support of trails participants. My understanding is the funding comes through our club's foundation, and specifically the under the name of Bonnick and of Richards. Jackie, are these both adequately funded that our support of trails will continue, or how much more would we need other club members to contribute to the foundation that we could increase our support of trails?
The Bonnick Foundation, the seed money was from his estate, and I think we have $3,000 left in it. The Pat Bartlett Richards, again, a little bit from her estate, and we added to it. And I think we have probably a couple of years of funds left. But every, I think it's these are such popular awards that I think that the foundation has a bit of a few general funds that we could contribute, but always on the lookout for additional funding for those. I mean, if the I have the Bill Martin has the information from the Bonnick family, and it was my intention, if I was still involved in the Federation, that I would reach out to the family and ask them if they'd like to continue it, because they know that John supported it. He set up the Donna Bonnick Award there, so they know how important trails was to John. So I don't know whether that answers your question, but I can assure you that if we were when we are out of funds in those 2 budget lines, we'll be approaching the membership for more. Tom would not have it otherwise, right, Tom?
No, I wouldn't.
Jackie, is there anything that prevents us from using funds from Tibor to these programs and trails?
No.
This International Peace Center one would be something I think that Anne, his daughter, Tibor's daughter, would understand and would see that there's a benefit, because Tibor was helped when he went to England. And this is the type of thing that will change somebody's life. I think she would be willing to use funds from that.
Yeah, but
Of
Tom,
course. And- but the
that
thing about the
program
Peace
is
Award is that-
completely funded from Rotary Foundation. The way that we could support the program is that we support like the district has put in DDF, designated funds, like many other districts. We were actually one of the founding districts when the program came about. So over the years, we put in money to the program. So there is nothing that prevents us as a club to donate to the program, but not to one individual.
Okay. All right.
Any other questions for Aaron?
David, if I could
Yes.
just make one other announcement, it might be appropriate at this time.
Okay.
The foundation at its last meeting has decided to investigate the process of receiving securities in opposed to a donation.
Yeah.
So we now have the appropriate form and the process. So if there is any member who would like to donate securities to the foundation, we are now able to accept that. And the advantage to donors is that you don't pay capital gains tax on your capital gain, and you get a full tax receipt for the amount donated.
Yep.
So if you have any questions about that, you can contact me at this time, because our treasurer, Bill Steele, is out of the country for a couple of months. So anyway, I had just a quick question for Aaron. Aaron, do the kids get a certificate for these awards, the Rotary Awards?
We haven't presented one in the past, no.
Okay, because do they still keep a portfolio where like these certificates of awards are important? Like, should we, because we could easily generate one. That's what I'm saying.
So I think where in this day and age, where I encourage both of them to promote that they were awarded this would be on their LinkedIn pages. That's where people go to look for accolades these days and accomplishments. It would also be something that they add to their resume.
Okay. So
Physical,
yeah, not important. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
The other question I have is, do you have an awards wall, Aaron, at Trails?
We have our Hearst Legacy Award like tree that each year we give that, and then we have smaller plaques, but there's nothing that currently acknowledges these two sub awards. Like we've got our Rotary general plaque for the lodge, but not additional awards like this other than the Hearst Legacy Award.
Would you allow us?
Would you like a wooden board?
Yeah. Would you allow us to do a plaque that goes up on the wall and you just add every year to it?
Sure, absolutely. That could definitely find a permanent home and be something that has like a little engraving on, and we add our winner annually, without a doubt.
Jackie, I think we should talk about that.
Another thing
something
that actually is tied to that and to Jackie's question, and I don't know embarrassingly what it says on our website, if there is anything about these awards on our website. But when you say, Erin, that people, and I agree with you, that they list things on the LinkedIn and so on and so forth, if I then looking at an application and it's referred to this, it would be good if someone then checked on the Rotary Toronto Eglinton website and found that this is what the award is for.
I think I don't, in the past, I know I sent the names of the winners and that you were going to list them. I didn't know if it was newsletter or on the website.
Yeah, no, we should look at that. We'll talk to Mike about that when he's back from Mexico. If we don't have a section, because I mean, Jackie, we could put something together about the awards themselves, and then we could add the recipients each year, and so they're recognized. That's not difficult to do, but I don't think there's anything on the website right now, Lars. So we could check on that.
But we could
That's
also get
exactly
one of
my
those
point.
beautiful wooden boards that would
like,
be purchased. Yeah,
I get that, but when someone has it on the resume and the employer looks up online and just does
you're
a
right,
Google
right.
search,
right.
it'd be great to be able to say what it's for and why it's so important. So it helps embrace the importance of the award on the candidate.
Sure. Well,
So-
I can do a write-up. Just let me know when you want it.
Yeah, let's talk with Mike and we'll figure out how we could where and what should go where. Okay. Okay. Anything else for Erin before I have Tom officially thank Erin for her presentation today? I think we're good. So Tom, you're up.
Okay, I mean, this is not difficult. Aaron, I want to start by saying these moments. The club works very hard to make a difference in society, and we support many different charities and many different social events. It is so important what you're doing here today by coming here and telling us the effect that we are having in helping these kids get through another little hurdle in their life. It makes me, as a Rotarian, it makes, I'm sure many of the other people on this web call want to give more to trails, want to do more, because we can do more if we know that the money and the time and the effort is going to something good. And what you have done for us today, and you've done for me for the last 2 or 3 years, is you make me feel very confident about the happy trails that we have. And I thank you very much for coming. And you tell Junior, whenever he wants to come to lunch, just let us know. We'll buy him lunch in Toronto anytime.
Will do. My pleasure. To echo Pat's ways, a big virtual trails hug from me to all of you. Thank you for joining or having me today, and look forward to the visit in the spring and when we get to do this ongoing. And Tom, you and I will be in touch, and Jackie, I'll send out these write-ups to everybody for today so you can share the letters with the rest of members. Thanks, everyone.
Before you leave, Erin,
Thank you.
you may or may not have the answer, but it just came to my mind. the attendees of the Trails program, where do they come from? My impression and is that in the beginning it was very much from the Regent Park area, but I may be wrong. Is that still the case, or do you? And let me then also say why I'm asking this. If it is sort of in a geographical area, it would be, or would it be interesting for the club to show its presence in that area?
Great question. So when the youth enter the program at age 12, we work and partner with 5 schools that are on the Toronto District School Board's lowest 15% of the Learning Opportunities Index. So that is measurement criteria that looks at single parent households, immigrant families, high crime areas, low income housing, and looks at those schools and where the area of need is. So we have kind of an east end, west end. A lot of our kids are in and around Downsview Park, like that area, kind of upper northwest in the city, and then over in Scarborough. Less schools in the East End now, as those schools have merged, but we've had 5 schools that we've been with for the last 12 or 15 years, and we have a 6th that's kind of just coming back into the fold. Sometimes as leadership at the school level, like if we've had a principal that's been at one of our partner schools for a number of years, then gets shuffled in and around the board and is at another school, but really believes in trails. We have the open applications where principals at that school can make a recommendation for a student that might be willing, and then Brandon looks to say like, hey, is this a school worth partnering with? But when I send the emails, I can give you the list of those schools, and that's where the majority of our kids are coming from.
I think that could be interesting, because there may also be other ways the club could participate in the community.
Potentially, yeah, whether there's other
I'm sure there are, the same way as Tom has talked to the counselor, and we have sometimes talked to the counselor to trying to find issues that the Rotary Club could participate in or facilitate activities for. I'm sure that school principals, as we know, thanks to Jackie, that school principals are very, very instrumental and good to contact.
Yep. So I can provide that list as well.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, Aaron. And I know you have to run, but thank you very much for coming by today. We really appreciate your time and effort and everything that you guys do on a daily basis for us in Trails.
Likewise. Thanks, everybody. Take care. We'll talk soon. Bye-bye.
Thanks, bye-bye.
Okay, as we move forward, before I jump on to have Lars present, let's do the motions that we have going on. So I know that Tom's got 2 and Ganese's got 1. So Tom, why don't you start? Or you have 2? Okay, so Tom, why don't you do yours first and let's do the motions and we'll go from there.
Okay, so the youth committee has proposed to the board, and the board has agreed to support the Leaside young girls hockey team. We're gonna put the Rotary Toronto Eglinton on the back of the Leaside Wildcats, and for 1 year, these are all young girls trying out a sport for the first time, trying to see if this is a sport they can get involved in. And so we've chosen this one program this year to see how it works. It's in our catchment area, and Rotary Toronto Eglinton will be advertised every time these girls skate on the ice for all their parents and the area around. So I think it's good recognition for us as well. So I asked for a vote because we're gonna pay $2,500 for this honor this year. It won't start till September.
Okay. Yeah.
Do we have a seconder?
Yep. John.
Okay, John McIntosh got the second. All in favor? Or any questions? Sorry, I should have said any questions for Tom. Okay, all in favor? I think we passed.
All right.
Okay, and
Okay.
your second one?
The second motion is for $6,500. It's for Project Abraham. And this is a group that is welcoming and helping immigrants from Syria, from Iran, and from Israel come into Toronto and get assimilated into our society. They have a small program called the Homework Club, and that's what we're going to support with our $6,500. And this is one-on-one tutoring for kids going from kindergarten to grade 12. We want to get to know these people. We want to see how they operate. So this is our first step in doing so. And I've asked that your support for $6,500 for this group. It comes from bingo funds. Oh, we hope it comes from bingo funds.
Yeah.
But we're sure it will,
A question, David.
Yep.
I support it 100%, but more than that, how can we personally be involved, Tom, to help these people rather than just throwing money at it?
Agreed. I think that we got to start somewhere. And the best way to get to know somebody is to run a program with them.
Yep.
We will go and we buy computers for the young kids so that they learn the language quicker and they get assimilated into the schools better. But it could take a lot of personal time, and Craig is working on that as well. And maybe we can, once we get to know how it all works, where it works, and then I think we can broadcast that to the full club, and maybe the club can come and help these people do better.
I thought Ron asked how he could run the defense program for the girls.
Yeah, I'm sure he could teach them how to skate, right?
Okay. Any other questions for Tom on the second motion? Okay, do I have a seconder on that motion?
I'll second that.
Okay, Ron's our seconder, and all in favor? So that's passed as well.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Tom. Anything else?
Nope.
Okay, let's move on to Ganese and her motion. You have to unmute, Ganese.
Unmute.
Ganese, you have to unmute.
I have one motion and one letter from the Paul Tissell, New Year message, as well as the photographs with the laboratory expansion. Is that okay, David?
Sure.
So shortly, I will share the motion first. And we received a global grant request from Redondo Beach Rotary Club, LA, USA, regarding the Western Kenya Clean Water Project. This is a partnership between the two countries and a well-known NGO. The goal is to have 9 water systems in 9 villages to provide clean water to about 24,000 people. I see my committee, international committee, approved a contribution of 3,000 US dollar from the 25-26 International Foundation budget, payable in July 2025 after the TRF, Global Grants TRF approval. So I need approval of the members now.
Any questions for Ganese on this? No? Okay, and I think now we need a seconder.
I'll second that.
Okay,
Is seconded.
Jim is a
Okay.
seconder. All in favor?
Thank you. Motion
Okay, that's
passed.
passed.
Okay. Now, can I share my
Yep, you can share your screen.
it was ready. Sorry. I'm nervous to do this.
All right, you're good.
Okay, here I am. We received email from the Dr. Tissell from Karanda Hospital. He says, hello again from Zimbabwe. I trust that you are having a happy, healthy ending to 2024. Here we were delighted to partner with you to complete expansion of our laboratory at Karanda Mission Hospital. Karanda Mission Hospital is a 152-bed district hospital serving a population of 250,000 people in rural northeastern Zimbabwe and the nation of large. We attend to 100,000 patients for medical care and treatment each year. Our laboratory services has been under extreme pressure for physical space as our clinic volume increased. Expansion, along with this shelving and basic furnishing, added much needed space and function to our facility. Though our dedicated staff make the best of use of existing lab space, more room was needed. Total of the project was $75,000. Thank you for your contribution. We are now able to provide much needed diagnostic services to all who need it, instead of referring some patients to remote alternate labs because of the lack of basic facilities and equipment. The health and well-being of rural Zimbabweans is vitally important to us. Our ministry at Karanda is to provide holistic care to an unprivileged corner of the world. Thank you for coming alongside us in our time of great need. Happy New Year, Paul Tissell. And I'm sharing the photos. He always provides photos to us for the improvements. And this is the old laboratory and the outside exterior. And now we have the expansion of the new laboratory. We're seeing the Dr. Tissel as well. And the interior of the new laboratory now, much more expanded. And they are very happy to serve. And this is it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ganesi.
Thank you, Ganeshi.
Fantastic. If you want to stop sharing your screen, that would be great. Any other announcements by any committee chairs before I hand the floor over to Lars, our president?
Were you not going to say something?
Jackie has her hand up.
Oh, okay. Jackie, you go first, then Nan.
It's a question, just a comment about Paul Thistle in Zimbabwe. Some of the newer members may want to know, why do we keep supporting him? And I think what Ganesi read and showed us is one of the reasons I like to support him, because he gives us such good feedback. You know, we get pictures, you know, his requests are very simple. I need this amount of money to do this, this, and this. And then 6 months later, you get a report back from him. And we don't always get that in Rotary. The other thing, it's a kind of a plea. Is there any younger member that would like to, that is interested in going to Zimbabwe? Because they've got accommodations over there at Karanda. You could go over and see it and spend some time over there. Just a plea. Think about it, because you know, Norma and I really didn't understand Cambodia until we went. We didn't understand what Ron was talking about in Kenya and these water projects until we went over there. You just have to, when you go over there and see it firsthand, it's just energizing. So just a plea for some of our. I mean, I'd love to go. I'm limping around these days with my arthritis and my injuries and whatever. Or I'd be on a plane going over there and visiting him, because he's at a. Karanda is better than the one he was at, the hospital he was at. You can see it's a more impressive structure, and they have. He relies so much on visiting medical personnel, so they have accommodations for people. Anyway, just a pitch. Thank you, Ganesi, for that. That was lovely.
Thank you, Jackie. Nan?
Yes, I just wanted to remind everybody that we're starting our 10% carbon reduction challenge that I mentioned a couple of weeks ago. Lars is going to send out 2 pieces of information. One is a sheet that tells you how it will work, and the other is a contract for us to sign to say, yes, I will try this for 6 months. Hopefully everybody's going to join us, but it'll be interesting to see how well this works. It will be an experiment with our club to start with, but what we're asking is, in February, as of February 1st, look at the odometer on your car. And then at the end of February, see how far you've driven. And then your challenge in March is to drive 10% less. The other 2 challenges are to turn the heating down in your home. And if you turn it down by 6, 7, 8 degrees at night, you'll save 10% if you can do that. And also if we reduce our eating of red meat. So on February, just how many meals do you have in the first month of red meat? Then the next month, have 10% less. For those that don't eat red meat, then your challenge is to reduce your dairy products by 10%. And I'm almost thinking that but might be a more difficult challenge, but that's one of the next highest carbon that we as humans produce in our consumption. So that'll be coming in writing. How many people, can I ask how many are joining in? I'm hoping everybody, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, fabulous. Well, if the rest of you can join in, I think it's going to be easy to do. And our thinking is that if you end up only doing it by 5% at the end of a month, let us know that. And maybe we need to adjust what we're doing. Maybe you can do 20%. It's easy for you. And the end of each month, we will ask for a report so we know what we're accomplishing. Hopefully this will work well, and if it will, then we'd like to expand it to other Rotary clubs. In the meantime, as you probably know, we were originally trying to get someone to design a carbon footprint calculator for Rotary. We haven't been able to find a person who is able and appropriate to do that. In order to do that, we probably need a grant. So we're starting now. It takes forever to get these things going, so we thought, let's start. So any questions? Okay, February 1st, team.
Thank you, Nan. Anyone else? Okay, before I hand it over to Lars, the only thing I have is just a reminder to those people that the last meeting who asked me to send them information about the delegates meeting that's happening on February 12th. This is a reminder that you need to send your reply back to Matt for the Rotary Connect meeting before the end of the month of January. Okay. If you need any more help or you couldn't find that email, then please reach out to me and I'll make sure you get that email. Okay, with that, I'm going to hand the floor over to Lars for his president's announcements.
Thank you, David, and Happy New Year to everybody. I guess no one has missed that it is the Chinese New Year's Day today, and this year is the year of the snake.
Yes.
And I just read that means that this year will be full of hope. We need that, certainly. Excitement and innovation. And maybe our 10% challenge will fall into that. So anyway, happy New Year. The other thing is that it is actually the National Puzzle Day. So everyone who wants to put puzzles together, you can say that this is particularly a suitable day for that. It's amazing what can be. It actually happens to be the National Corn Chip Day too, and that can go hand in hand. In 1886, the German engineer Carl Benz got his patent for the first gasoline car approved. So there you have what eventually became a Mercedes-Benz. You know that, for those of you who drive Mercedes, that had a car, was the inventor. And a few years later, this day in 1892, Coca-Cola Company was registered in Atlanta, and things have really developed from that day. There is a president in the States who probably consumes half of the production these days. Interestingly, following up on the hockey story here, the fact that we are spending money on sweaters, jerseys for the girls team in Leaside. One day maybe it will happen what happened to Ken Dryden and his number 29 this year in 2007. It was retired and is hanging in the Bell Center in Montreal. And Ken is a very interesting person. Some of us may remember when he spoke to our club, and a few may also remember. And this ties back. It's interesting how things tie together. It ties back to these scholarships that we talked about earlier in the meeting. His daughter, Sarah, who's an educator, was actually an ambassadorial or graduate scholar that our club supported. And she went to South Africa. And when she came back, she asked us if we would be interested in helping out with a project, an idea she had. And that was the idea truck, which was basically, if I would just make it simple, a mobile library for schools that went around in the townships And that became what at that time was a matching grant project with a club in South Africa. We have lost touch with Sarah, as we do with so many things, but I'm sure we could follow up with Ken and probably get that. On another note, actually, one more thing. I had a reason to be in touch with Kevin Powers of the Toronto Club, who is the district co-chair for the graduate scholarship program, including also the peace program applications. And what happens is that students apply to the district. The district has one graduate scholarship a year, and the district, get about 6-7 applications every year. And what Kevin and his committee does, and actually our former member Catherine Hope is a member of that committee, or has been at least, is that they put these applications or connect the applicants with one Rotary Club each. And Kevin asked me if our club would be willing to be one of the clubs that would take sort of take care of one of the applicants. And I said, yes, we are. I haven't got any information on that. We did this a year or two prior to COVID, and that candidate was actually successful. And she went to Paris for a year to study in medical engineering, I think it was that she had. So sometimes we win, sometimes we don't. But anyway, that will come. We have also a few years been the contact for incoming graduate scholars. Our district usually gets 3-4 such candidates because of this university, the quality of the university training in our district in Toronto. And we've had that. Very interesting candidate. On a district note, it was decided by the nominating committee for district governors for the 2027-28 Rotary year to select Tina Martin of the Markham Sunrise Club. Some of us may know Tina. I think it is a very good. I have no idea who the other applicants were, but I have worked with and am working with Tina. I think it's a good choice. It's actually interesting because now we will have 4 real governors, women governors, female governors in a row. So there will be order in the class, and it's going to get done. So that, as you know, Liz from the Leaside Club will actually be the year prior to Tina in it. And there is this is done sort of the same thing as other appointments in Rotary. So if there are any objections, they should be posted, and the deadline for that is February 2nd. I can't see a reason why we should object to this. If there is someone who knows something, a skeleton in Tina's wardrobe cabinet, please let me know. But otherwise, I think we should look forward to working with Tina. And finally, I have not received the $200 check. I don't know if others have received it, but again, if you do get the check from the Ontario government, please consider to donate it part or in whole to Rotary, whether it is to the options we have, just extra money for our club outside bingo and foundation funds, or to our foundation, or to the Rotary Foundation. Whatever you do, whatever amount is much appreciated. So with that, I think I have overstayed my visit. So thank you.
Thank you, Lars. Any question, Ron, you had a question?
Yeah, Lars, have you heard anything about this District 7070 get-together on the final evening of the Rotary Convention in Calgary?
No, I have not. Which is
that would be Wednesday, January the 10th, roughly, something like that. Somebody, a Rotarian, mentioned it to me. I hadn't received anything. Well, it would actually be Wednesday, January the 20th, Wednesday, June the 25th. After the closing ceremonies.
After the closing ceremony. No, I haven't. I find it a little strange because I think I would imagine that some people may want to leave, but I am actually sort of part organizing a get together for the district governors in our zone, for the centennial ones. Those of us who are going there, and which happens, as you know, with governors from each class. But I'll find out. Who's.
Yep.
How many are we that are going to the convention?
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Okay. We'll find out, and I'll put it in the Småttobot.
Yep. Good. Thank you.
Okay. Anything else for the good of Rotary from anyone on the call today? Okay, so this will end today's meeting. I just want everyone to know that a good Rotarian, a friend of our club, and a friend of Rotary overall, John Curry, will be speaking to us from honoring Indigenous peoples. That's hip for most of us. He'll be speaking to the club next Wednesday in person at Toronto Lawn. So I'm sure Tom will want to have a couple questions to him in regards to our candidates. As well, Joseph Marquez will be getting inducted next week at the in-person meeting. So he'll be a new member joining us. And if there's nothing else, everyone have a great week. We will see everybody next Wednesday.
Yep.
Have a good one, guys. Thank you.
Good.